Introducing a new podcast. Karen Hunter is awesome.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. So check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.
Karen Hunter is awesome. A new podcast from Karen Hunter.
So I'm watching, last week we were talking about the Special Forces thing that I'm watching. Cam Newton is on there.
Right.
Little spoiler alert, Marion Jones, I got a little insight into her. She got her ribs cracked by Travis Kelce's girlfriend, former girlfriend. They had the fist fight, and she cracked Marion Jones's ribs and sent her out of the damn competition. I was like, oh, she's tough. Okay. But Cam Newton is on there, and he's having this thing, and somebody actually recorded it from their television. I don't have like fresh audio, but and I just sent it to Smiz. But he said something profound that I wanted to ask you about. Play it.
Okay.
Different phase of my life that's going to require a different form of myself. Being in the NFL, everybody knows there's a large sum of money that comes to you in a short span of time. And being away from the game for 3 years, those checks don't come in the same. Like, I got 8 kids. It hurts me knowing that I can't provide like I once did. It hurts thinking that I'm Superman. But in reality, I'm just a man. What you're looking for is to reinvent who you are. We're gonna keep challenging you. It's gonna get harder and harder and harder.
8 kids, 3 babies' mamas. They all want to get paid. You are not making the money you were making when you were Superman. You are a Nephilim, amazing specimen of a man on that football field. And life comes at you really quickly because when you're that young, like we're talking about Zion, you believe, and this is for everybody, you believe that it's not going to stop. Like it's going to keep going. But it's one injury. Football is notorious for this. Ending careers. One CTE, ending careers. One concussion that could, end your career. And those monthly $1 million checks, because you're getting like $100,000 a week or whatever.
Right.
They don't come. And now you have the responsibility, not a wife with 8 children. And y'all raise them together. Now you got 3 separate women that you got, and they all gonna take you back to court because they want their children to live the way you're living, and you can't afford it. And so that's what I'm saying about Zion. He's suspended.
Right.
And at some point, there's got to be an awakening, and we see it too often. When is the cautionary tale going to be a caution?
Even with Zion, he got suspended 1 game for being late to get on the plane. To me, it's not necessarily the same. I think honestly, Zion's a great example of a dude that seems to have learned his lesson. He's been completely in shape, not in trouble off the court at all. No scandals. Like Buddy had his wake up call. The whole world called him fat and laughed at him for having sex with that porn star. He never had a child with her or anything like that. So he may be a good example of somebody who's like, I got my head on straight. If anything, his thing is I need to get out of New Orleans and get to New York City or LA or somewhere. Because he want to go be a real star. We'll see. But Cam is so interesting because Cam will be on a podcast talking about relationships at some point in the near future. And he'll say something that will completely contradict that moment that he just had, which is interesting because Cam is older. So like Cam will say something like this that's very poignant where you're like, damn, I really can. I empathize with that man. And then I want to say like a couple months ago, he's on a relationship podcast talking about how he still wants to have babies with other women. Like that's an insane thing to be doing at that age. And I don't know, what you do with people that grown. They get to make these decisions. The women ain't getting tricked. The women are making these decisions going in with them.
Correct.
I feel bad for the kids that have to, live throughout these situations because they're going to be the ultimate arbiters of whether you did a good job as a parent or not. And they last forever. You know what I mean? Like that's not your kid is going to be around hopefully longer than you are. And so, I feel bad about that. But and for the record, I totally hear you on, we should have some type of pushback on our culture that says, hey, it's okay to grow up. It's okay to be yourself. It's okay to It's okay to kind of stay a child sometimes, even, it's okay to play that video game and stuff like that. I live my life that way. So I totally understand. I think it seems like it's too much of one thing and not enough of another. And I hope that we're getting some pushback on that. I hope moments like this are allowing that.
And for the record, this ain't none of our business at all. None of it.
Yeah.
The only reason why I bring it up, because I know that there's somebody who may be in this space, and maybe you're not a world-class athlete, maybe you're not making millions of dollars, maybe you're a thousandaire who, your brain's not fully formed and you won't accept that. You're 22,
right?
Maybe you're making decisions that will, but the thing you do today is what will impact you tomorrow, which is why I'm constantly talking about throwing myself into the future. What does future self look like? Well, it's the things that I'm doing today will impact the future self and what she will look like 20 years from now. It's the today's decisions. And
the other thing is, it's not that it's not our business. Like, I don't think we're prying. These are the people that are putting this out here for people to talk about in public. So, like, to me, this isn't like we busted Cam Newton coming out of Waffle House with some woman and we was like, did you know Cam? Like, he was on a TV show he knew the world was seeing. He talked about this, what his inner thinking is. Redman was on a podcast, Zion Williamson is a public athlete, but, so I know his stuff is a little less him trying to be out there. But, the point being, you're right. It's relatable, which is why we talk about it. And these are extreme examples a lot of times. I don't think everybody needs to do 2.5 years of no drugs, no sex. Not everyone's gonna feel the need to be able to do that. But you might be able to relate to something else. It could be food. It could be alcohol. It could be whatever. It could be money.
Gambling.
It could be gambling.
Yeah.
Yes. It could be anything. So, like, that's why it's relatable. So I don't think we're being harsh or too judgmental. I feel like, we treating these people like human beings, and none of us came on here, called them out their names. You know what I mean? They could come on here next week and talk about it, and I don't think any hard feelings would need to be exchanged.
Introducing a new podcast. Karen Hunter is awesome.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. So check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.
Karen Hunter is awesome. A new podcast from Karen Hunter.